Okay, so learning the language was a struggle for me. It was really hard. And I got down on myself, and I was kind of a perfectionist, and I had this big burning testimony inside of me, and I wanted to share it, and I couldn't get the words to get it out right. And so it was a very frustrating experience for me at first, but I learned so much. The people are wonderful, and they will make a lot of comments. Oh, I didn't understand. It was always hard for them to turn to my companion. What did she just say? Or what did she mean to say? But that's okay. You learn. It takes time. In the MTC, they're going to really pump you up and get you excited about the gift of tongues. And they'll say, yeah, within 3 months, you'll be speaking perfect, fluent Spanish. That, for me, was not the case. It took me probably 6 months. But what I think really increased my ability to speak Spanish was having more faith in myself and making myself practice. Because I at first preferred to stay quiet. I tried to talk a lot when I first got there because I was so motivated. And then when they just didn't understand me, and it was so hard, I realized really how hard it was to get the language out of my mouth. I got a little bit more quiet and let my companion do the majority. And that was a mistake. The people will understand you even if it's not perfect. If you get some of the vocab words and if you translate the Spanish wrong, or if you do the grammar tense in the wrong past tense, that's okay. It's really, they will love you, and they will help you, and they'll help you get through it. I had an experience where the sister training leaders were coming to do divisions or splits or whatever they call it with us, and I had to lead the lessons all day long, and I was terrified because I didn't remember how to get to those people's houses, and I didn't know the language, and I just felt so discouraged. And that day I was reading in my scriptures, and I read the story in the New Testament when Peter had the faith to walk on water, and so he walked on the water, and the moment he began to doubt, he drowned. But when he had faith, he could do it. And so I thought to myself, if Peter can walk on the water and has faith to do something that hard, there's no reason I couldn't have a day of speaking good Spanish with people understanding me. So I just said, no, it doesn't matter. I'm here. The Lord has called me here, and I'm going to speak it, and I'm going to have a good day. And I spoke great Spanish that whole day. People understood me. I understood the majority of what they were saying. The sister training leader was so kind to help me fill in the gaps, and it was a really great experience, and I learned that day that I can really speak it. But after that day, I sort of lost motivation again. I was really studying every single day, but I just had a hard time still. So then they took away my amazing Guatemalan trainer, and they sent me a girl from Mapleton, Utah, who I adore, and her Spanish was not perfect either at all. So we'd go, these two little white girls in this area that hadn't seen American sister missionaries in years. And we would go teach these lessons, and the people just didn't totally understand us. And so we had to figure it out so fast. So by taking away my clutch of using my companion for everything, they just sent me another companion who wasn't perfect. And it was so good for me. And she really was great and taught me that I can speak Spanish and that I could do it and that I just wasn't giving myself the credit I needed to. And she changed my world. She had come at a time where I really was having a hard time adjusting, and so I was really grateful for her to just show me how when you work your butt off as hard as you possibly can, and you have faith and you speak and you do those things, miracles happen, and you learn to really enjoy and love it. So the language, just do language study. It's kind of hard because when I left in November of 2016, the rules were still, you do language study at 1 o'clock every day. But if a member feeds you a lunch, they're never punctual, and so you start eating by 12:45, and so the language study doesn't really happen. You need to make it happen, whether it be at night, whether it be during the day, whether it be taking flashcards around with you. You really need to learn the language and study it. People would always tell me, your grammar is so much, once I got good at Spanish, people would just tell me, your grammar is so much better than other American missionaries that I've met. And it was because I studied those books and I did all the little homework assignments out of them, and it helped me so much. And people will ask you, can you write Spanish and read it too? And I said, yep, that's how I learned, was reading and writing it out of a book. So the book they'll give you in the MTC is so helpful. It's golden. So just make sure you really use that, and that will help you a ton. And just be so optimistic and so faithful, and don't get yourself down, and you'll learn it in no time, and you'll be thinking, wow, I just understood everything, and wow, they just understood me. And it is a great feeling.